Today's video is a part 2 to a conversation I had with my buddy Kings about just real estate investing and life as a content creator. And if you haven't seen the first part, the link is in the description below, and I highly encourage you to watch that first before you watch that video if you haven't already. But if you've already watched part 1, continue the video and enjoy the rest of the conversation. Roll it. Because I hated that part when I was actually in town doing the flips, managing the contractors. It was fun at first.
Yeah.
But then I was like, dude, I hate that. Like, you just have to walk in the properties. I feel like I'm wasting my time.
Yeah.
But that's how that deal was found. And right now, my system is like, if someone sends me a deal anywhere in the world, I'll wholesale anywhere, but I won't flip anywhere. I want to flip in my market that I'm really, really comfortable in, where I have that team. But wholesale is like, I have the connections anywhere to where I can feel comfortable wholesaling. Because like if I find something in LA, there's like 5 guys downstairs in LA that I'm like, oh, hey, like, who are the buyers? They're the buyers.
Yeah.
I'm like, and I have that in almost every market now.
Yeah.
So that's kind of, I guess, my system and thought process there.
And then how will you? What's your plan to acquire rentals, and or through social media at all, or just kind of through?
Yeah, I think it's
traditional ways, or
it's really the same process. Because like for the rentals, it's because right now my marketing is social media to get deals, MLS to get deals, and then I recently ended my cold calling, but I still have a sales agent calling on all the leads that we had.
Okay.
So these are my like 3 mains, and then wholesaler and realtor relationships. So that's how I'm finding the deals. And whenever I find a deal, like everything is a rental potentially.
Yeah,
and
pretty
so
much.
You find it, you fix it up, and then instead of selling it, just like let's rent it out and then refinance and get my money back. And I'll keep rentals if it's in a market that I like. Most likely my market, Fresno, California. Those are the ones that I'll probably keep. Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah. These are because my whole thought is like, all right, I know as I put out a bunch of content, I will get leads and people saying like, hey, I think my great aunt is actually looking to sell her house or whatever. Especially like me, I'm going to LA now, and I'm gonna get these DMs from Massachusetts.
Right.
And I'm betting that most of them probably won't be great deals, just as most leads are and whatever, and then every once in a while you'll get a good one.
Right.
But even for those ones that aren't great deals, I'm thinking like, oh man, do I go ahead and just do kind of a virtual analysis and just kind of see, all the information that I have right now, or am I trying to send somebody over there every time? Or if you're looking as a rental, like you said, anything can be a rental.
Right.
Do you have a specific criteria for virtual stuff, or is it just the same criteria you have for anything you see in person?
Pretty much same criteria everywhere. If it's like a higher end market or a higher end like luxury price, I'll budget extra for the rehab. And I already have I guess I've made trainings on that for my MLS acquisitions agent of like what to do there. But yeah, like rentals everything's the same. Like the acquisition process is gonna be the same for everything.
Yeah.
Like whether it's a rental, Airbnb, flip, wholesale, those are just exit strategies.
And so how are you buying rentals? Is it you're not? Are you just?
I'm not right now.
Okay.
For the most part, I'm acquiring to flip.
Okay.
That's because I haven't made enough income, in my opinion,
yeah.
from social media.
Yeah.
Where I can feel comfortable. Like.
No, for sure. Because me, after graduating, I don't think I've been just doing this for about maybe 6-7 months. Before that, I had a job in commercial real estate.
Okay.
Which was like a W-2 job, which I could have got. I could have easily FHA'd something or whatever. But now I can't, and so now. Yeah. When I'm asking, when it comes to rentals and everything, and you initially told me like, hey, I should start thinking about rentals and whatever. I'm still like, I'm 1,000% on board, but I don't have that traditional, the 2 years of work experience.
Right.
And like they typically don't really care how much money you're making, really. If it's, they've only been doing it for a year, it's not enough. A year or 2 or whatever the criteria is, because even if you do cross that 2 or 3 year threshold, it's still more difficult than being approved as somebody who has like a $100K salary W-2 kind of job. Right. So yeah, like knowing that, I'm like, all right, the only ways I can kind of really acquire rentals in the next year or 2 or however long it takes is most likely going to have to be like a BRRRR kind of thing, where I start with hard money first and go over to that. which I think is gonna make my game kind of a lot more challenging, because that means I can't buy anything at like 75% ARV or 80%. It's gotta have to be maybe 70, 75ish or lower, 50, 60% minus repairs or whatever. I have to really find a good deal to go from hard to conventional.
Right.
So is that something that you experienced that issue as well, or how are you going about trying to acquire rentals? Through that?
So my thought, well, I guess here's my thinking, because I'm going through the same exact thing.
Okay.
But even if it was a BRRRR, like the conventional lender that you would refinance. Okay, also a BRRRR is a buy, rent, rehab, refinance, repeat. And so like you buy a home, you would maybe fix it up, rent it out, you refinance out of it to get your money back, and then you can like use that money to buy more, and then you get to keep this other home to get continuous income. So that's what a BRRRR is, for those of you watching. But even if you wanted to BRRRR something, when you refinance, they would still like want that kind of history of like the 2 years, because they're a conventional lender. Now for me, I'm the same position. I don't have that. And I think, and really maybe I was doing it without the intention of it, but like maybe like in the back of my head, my conscience was saying, focus on the content so you can generate consistent income, so that you can gain that, whether 2-year traction of like the income where you can feel comfortable of, like where banks will actually lend you for these conventional loans. So that's where I'm at. I'm actually surprised though. I thought you would have hit it from YouTube income.
The thing about YouTube income though was super inconsistent, and like through, let's see, the times where I would say kind of blew up the most being where back in like 2016, 2017, or not even that, maybe like from 2016 up to 2019-ish, especially in the beginning, like a lot of channels would sometimes be, like it would struggle to be monetized sometimes. So if I was like, especially in some videos, I would swear a lot or whatever, so it's like, if that would happen, and then your videos are getting dinged, you'd be like, okay, like what's going on? And then you stop. But for a lot of channels, whether it took you 6 months or a year of producing kind of clean content or whatever, you would still be flagged and whatever. Like for it's kind of the thing with YouTube. You don't really get to communicate as as closely. So all these kind of things will always play an effect. So it always kind of like was put a kind of a damper on how much I was able to make, or at least my potential. Luckily, I was able to do like brand deals and whatnot, and make money there. And I still made money off like AdSense, but super low CPMs. Like,
because you're entertainment.
Yes, and entertainment, exactly. Not real estate and finance. Hopefully I can kind of bridge that gap.
You will.
Right? That's the goal, right? So even if I hope to have super high CPM, but even if not for whatever reason, like I'll be better than before. We'll see. Sometimes like there's some type of wizard behind the curtain with YouTube. You just can't really, you don't really know.
No idea.
Yeah, some people, you'll find out some people have super high CPM sometimes. You never really kind of know.
It's funny you mentioned that, because even it's really weird. I'm not monetized yet in AdSense. And on YouTube, I'm almost fearful. Like right now I'm vlogging, but most of my content's real estate education or finance, because I wanted that high CPM and I still want it. But it makes me feel, I don't know how YouTube works fully yet, but I'm afraid of like, if I do too many of these vlogs, that like it all drops overall. So like I'm hesitant sometimes about vlogging. Entertainment stuff.
I mean the thing about vlogs in general across any genre of YouTube and whatnot are certainly like those are opportunities, to show your personality, to show, kind of what you're up to, and really connect on a different level. But it's definitely something that is not going to attract typically like more views and whatever kind of super trendy thing, which is fine though. I mean, there's always a time and place for vlogs. I think everyone, I guess, should vlog and should be making content. But that is kind of one of the, I guess, it's like a pros and cons when it comes to vlogging. It's definitely real, but if you're still doing a lot of the usual content, or maybe some of the trendier stuff, or still focusing on the growth, you can create like a nice, beautiful almost balance where you're able to show like, hey, like I can do all like the trendy stuff and go viral or just get a bunch of attention while still being able to like say like, hey, I also want to connect with you guys on a personal level. Like, here are my blogs, here are this and whatever. Here's like my life, is my lifestyle, like all these kind of things. Like, that's kind of the thing with a vlog. So I mean, as far as being like hesitant, I don't think there necessarily should be, as long as you're still doing a lot of other things too. You're still trying to grow the channel and like the conventional ways, through the trends, through the the hot topics and whatever's going on in that circle. You'll see a lot of people, with real estate. You can imagine like or you may already, see it, or it might even be a question for you, but like, it can get at some point pretty repetitive, or you run out of like new things to talk about.
Right.
So you'll see a lot of people in the entrepreneurship space or the real estate space go into now maybe general finance or business, entrepreneurship type of things. You see Ryan Pinillo start talking about side hustles and couch flipping and Turo and like car rentals and Airbnbs and all these other different things, of watches, of flipping, all these different types of things where you can make money in a whole lot of different ways. And it's something that is you appeal to a broader audience and whatnot too. So I think that's something I will also be mindful of as I'm making this transition too, to not just limit myself as to just real estate, but to be like I'm a real estate and business influencer and whatnot too. So I can speak kind of generally about whether it's side hustles, whether it's other ways of how to make money on social media, whether it's how to invest in real estate, whatever it is. Now, a lot of people are talking about crypto, you'll see a lot of real estate influencers talk about crypto because it'll get them a bunch of views or whatever. At times they're like, oh snap, a lot of people who are interested in real estate are interested in crypto. And then they'll start talking about that, NFTs, all these things, trendy things that are all like pots of gold. And then when you have a lot of these, you can make kind of any other kind of content you want to. You can still do the vlogs, you can still do the kind of the goofy stuff, whatever you naturally want to show people, you still can do when you're on top of all the hot trends and all the stuff in the space.
That makes sense, and that's fascinating you say that, because it's something I've really thought about. Like, I'm super small on YouTube. I think under 1,000 subs right now.
Cool.
But as I've made videos, like I understand the repetitiveness now of like real estate investing or coaching or teaching topics, because I'm like, dude, like I've talked about everything you need to know. Like, if you watch my YouTube channel, I'm like, you will get an MBA in real estate investing.
Real talk.
And that's why I was like, okay, what now? But I'm still gonna keep doing it because right now I'm trying to build an audience that trusts me. And I feel like at the beginning, mine was very spread out. So I talk about real estate, money, personal development, and I vlogged. And it was spread. And so right now, my strategy at the moment is try to niche down on the real estate. And then I always thought about like, hey, once I hit that point of like, I think there's always some type of cap of like, who's your real estate audience on YouTube? How many you can hit? And I always, because I know like other YouTubers, Graham Stephan, Ryan, Pineda, Meet Kevin, they've hit that threshold in real estate, and then then they start talking about money and other stuff. And so for me, I've always enjoyed the vlogging and like sharing my life. It's very personal, and so I always thought like that might be my pivot down the road. But I don't know, it's something I thought about.
It can be. It certainly can be. You'll see maybe whether, if you take for example, I think Meet Kevin has like another channel where he does I'm not sure, but a lot of space influencers in all types of genres will do something like that. Well, they have kind of maybe a main channel and maybe a separate channel where they also do this, and they're super just passionate about the things going on in their lives and whatever. Some people integrate it into one kind of channel too, and you do that, and that works too as well. There's different kind of strategies. It depends on kind of what your goal is from like a money perspective. If you're super like, you're focused on a bottom line, and that's what's most important. Of course, making videos about the money, finance, real estate, and creating like businesses behind all those things. We all know you can make a crap ton of money from that. Rather than you can imagine it'd be a lot more difficult to monetize a vlog, but at the same time, there are a lot of people, a lot of popular vloggers who are monetize it through maybe AdSense or maybe selling like merch and things like that. Things that aren't as high ticket or as maybe as a coaching program and things like that. But they're kind of just banking overall on like popularity. That was something I did too. Like when I was making a lot of videos, I had merch and I was making money from merch. I was doing brand deals. I worked with Dunkin' Donuts and I'd worked with like Champion and stuff like that. And that was awesome. While the AdSense was low or just, I'm always getting demonetized for whatever reasons, right? Just YouTube. But I found other ways. But even back then, like I was not nearly as financially, I guess, savvy as I maybe am now. I wasn't reading any of the books. Like I didn't kind of realize maybe the natural passion I had for entrepreneurship or business at that time. I thought at that time I was just kind of like, I mean at the time I was just on TikTok and Instagram. Not on TikTok, but those times I was on Instagram and YouTube the way kids are on TikTok today. Like just going, making videos, dancing, you know, making funny things to make people laugh. And then they get viral. And then when you end up doing it for so many times and doing it so many times and times, your life kind of just kind of goes around it. And then, you know, you wake up one day and you're like, oh snap, I'm making a bunch of trendy videos all day. Like, well, what about putting a business behind it or whatever? And then you start to realize, you start to grow, and you see a lot of people then kind of grow in that way and pivot. And then you'll see people selling merch. You'll see people getting into different niches. And or for maybe super popular in the beauty industry, a lot of people will start making just kind of video, just jokes on social media, and then they'll see them start selling maybe hair or makeup kind of tutorials or you know, products or businesses around that. That's pretty much, I guess, what I'm doing now at that time, you know. So that's kind of what it was in the beginning, just kind of going viral and having fun. Not really thinking too much about money, like making money. I think during college, on average, I was probably making maybe like $30,000 to $40,000 a year, like as a college student. Which was awesome because I mean, at the time I felt rich. Like, you know, like I'm in college making like I mean, it would be like a low full-time salary, but I was like, yeah, dude, I'm just like literally making jokes all day, and running around and enjoying it, having fun, meeting all these people. Like I was throwing parties. Like I will continue to throw parties in the future. It'll be a great time, you know. But like all these kind of things, and it was a blast. But then like when you graduate and you're at that 30 to 40,000 mark, and you're like, oh, it's not like, and you don't know too much about maybe business or real estate or whatever, or systems, like all those things, getting up to all those subscribers, I was doing all by myself, like as far as that, like editing thumbnails, like every single thing, every single time. Like if I want to make a video, it takes me like from start to finish, maybe about like 8 to 9 hours of my time, from like the time when I'm recording, if I'm recording like a 20-minute video, editing, like uploading, waiting for this, like the thumbnails and all of that. And I learned an amazing amount of skills during that. But you know, from a business perspective, wasn't the smartest thing to do. But you live and you learn, right? You know, you fail forward, I guess, in that sense. And so I look forward to kind of taking all the stuff that I learned here and kind of just tying that entertainment and real estate kind of thing together and make it a pop. You know?
I think that's awesome because right now you have an audience. When I've watched your videos, they're really good.
Yeah, appreciate it.
But your audience is like, they like you for you. So I feel like no matter what you end up talking about or doing or entertaining, educating, they're gonna follow you. And I think there's a certain power to how you started out your YouTube and how you continued it with like maybe even pranks or entertainment. Because they got to know you as a person.
That is true.
Because I'm noticing even this, like everyone has like a certain loyal fan base, subscriber base. Mine's really small, but I see them.
But
like
they're loyal.
They'll comment all the time. They'll be like, dude, I love this. Like there'd be different videos, like my vlogs, my mastermind videos. I'm like, dude, like you watching everything. And so I think there's a certain power to that.
No, for sure. And it's funny, like, I mean, I guess, I don't want to say I still feel like a kid now. Now we're growing up. Like, we are younger in the real estate space. But definitely, dude, at 19, 20, and I'm making all these videos, and I'm getting all these comments, and like, this stuff is happening fast and whatever. I remember connecting with literally hundreds and if not thousands of people, like personally, and whether it's messages, I remember Snapchats. I used to be like, hey, like, you know, add me on Snapchat, I'm gonna reply to everybody today. And it would be like literally hundreds and hundreds of people, and I would do that all the time. And just to connect and show them like, hey, like I appreciate you guys. And then a lot of them have stuck around, and a lot of them have been like super loyal. And a lot of them are gonna be loyal to me like no matter what I do. And sometimes, I guess as a young kid, it's super easy to take it for granted, or especially when you're still kind of figuring yourself out as a man. You don't really know what kind of you're doing. I'm still in school at the time. I still have my parents and my family saying like, hey, you know, trying to be a doctor, right? I did my first year before I went to business. I tried being like a physical therapist. I was accepted into this like 6-year accelerated doctor program at Boston University. And that didn't work out for me, and I had to I had to go to the business school during that time. But during this time, I'm making YouTube videos, and so my mind's all over the place. And then I had a girlfriend at the time. I'm all this stuff, and I'm learning that whole world and whatever. And then all these things and friends, feeling and just all the normal things that you're feeling as like a young kid, can get kind of easy to kind of lose. I mean, I don't want to say lose sight of things, but you know, you're just kind of growing. I mean, we're still learning. We're learning things every day. But that's how you do it, man. You learn, and you just just go forward.
Dude, I think this is awesome. And then just for sake of the time, because we got a mastermind to go to.
That's true.
This was our little talk or chat with how 24-year-olds see the real estate space and the content space. But also, if you have never heard of Kings, he's an awesome YouTuber, awesome influencer. And if you want to watch his channel or Instagram, his links will be in the description below. You can say them. I think they're Kings Commentary for YouTube.
Commentary.
And what's your Instagram handle?
Kings.nko.
And also, if you want help to grow your real estate business, whether you are brand new or if you already got deals under your belt, DM me the word coach on Instagram at JustinYou'reWrong. Peace.